Good afternoon, students. This is Morgan Phenix coming to you from Stanley, Virginia. It's a beautiful, sunny Sunday afternoon. I have a very, very brief video for you today. It has to do with a new feature of the course. It's called the case study. You'll have a case study this week, coming up, 4th week, and also in the 7th week. You'll have a single case to respond to in this week, and in week 7 you will have 3 separate case scenarios that you can choose from. Okay? And I would like to give you some tips for this assignment that will make it very, very economical for you and very handy. Okay, and I want you to take it as a kind of a complex situation that pops up all the time when you're a site administrator, when you're a principal. There are things that happen all day long, and you have to know how to respond to them. And you're going to learn a new tool. For many of you, it will be a brand new thing. Learn about a new tool to use to describe and to help you analyze complex situations for the best possible solution. Okay? Case scenario of Serge Romanich. He is a Serbian student that arrives in a school. He's greeted by the principal. He's tested. He's placed in a particular location. It doesn't work out real well, so they retest him and they do some more decisions about him. Okay, he has a very, very fine teacher that works with him and that understands certain things about the Serbian community, and she is a feature of this scenario. Okay, you are going to read the scenario, understand it, and then you're going to summarize it. It's really simple. There's no research involved. Okay, there's no essay about Serbian kids or about ELL. None of that stuff. Okay, you are going to be responding to the facts of this case as if it were a student in your school. Alrighty, so for this assignment, and it's a 100-point assignment, so let's get it right, and let's not overwork it either. It's just very straightforward. You summarize, maximum 1 page. The entire assignment is 3 pages. Okay, maximum. And you give me the summary, and you'll be answering some questions that come at the end of the case scenario. The basic question, which becomes the thesis of your work, is: was this student placed properly? Was Serge Romanich placed properly? Was he labeled properly? Was he placed properly? That's what the thesis will be, and you will say yes or no. All right. Then once you have done the summary, then you are asked to describe the situation and describe the scenario in terms of the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that are present. They're not pleasant, and that is called a SWOT. Okay, and it comes typically, it's a tool used by businesses to analyze complex issues and problems that they are having. And so the people arrive on the scene and look at what's going on, and they say, well, we have certain strengths that we can identify, and then there are certain weaknesses. There's things that we aren't doing right and we could be doing better. There are also opportunities, things that we haven't tapped yet. They're potential, okay? And then threats. If we don't get this right, something may go wrong, and for us, we may get sued, we may lose business, whatever it is. But we're going to use the SWOT to describe the case of Serge Romanich, okay? And it'll come. Everything that goes on here will come from the scenario that you're going to read. Alrighty, and this quadrant format is the typical one, and then you just list things in it. There's no text, there's no essay involved. No essay, no text. You know, your clearest thoughts will be lost if you try to insert them into an essay. I don't necessarily recommend the quadrant format. Some computers have difficulty with that. You are also free to use just a very graphic outline. Just list the strengths for, let's just say, a minimum of 3. If you have fewer than 3, it's not enough. If you have more than 6 or 7, it's way too much. It's overkill. 3 or 4 or 5 strengths, 3 or 4 or 5 weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. There usually aren't a whole lot of threats, but there might be 3 or 4 in this one. Alrighty? Okay, strengths, that would be people or things that were done properly, or some features of the child, Serge, or of his family. And then weaknesses, things that didn't go right. I would like to ask each and every one of you to place Mr. Harry Sims, who is the principal of the school, somewhere in the SWOT outline or the SWOT diagram. Was he a strength? Was he a weakness? Was he, could he have done something more? Was he an opportunity? Alrighty. Then once you've finished with the SWOT, and that is also just a single page, is it not? Then if you have weaknesses that you've listed, wouldn't you want to do something about them? So then you come to the case recommendations. Okay, this is 30 points. The SWOT is 50 points of the 100. All right, so get it right and get it clear and make it very, very clear and to the point. Case recommendations likewise. Do them as if you were the site administrator, as if you were a new principal coming in. Okay, or if you were the principal's boss coming down there to see what's going on with this. You heard there was an issue with Serge Romanich, so you want to come down there and you look at things and you look at the strengths, the weaknesses, and the threats. Particularly, you don't want anything. You don't want a lawsuit about something. Okay, and so as a site administrator, what would you do? I would replace this person. I would give some professional development to my staff about such and such. I would set up a committee for something, that kind of a thing. Case recommendations, and all of the case recommendations come from your SWOT. Once again, if you have weaknesses, wouldn't you have a recommendation about what to do about them? And I would like you to do it in an outline format like this, or bullet point, or list them, or number them, okay? The most important thing is I would do such and such. I would also do this, I would do that. And lastly, I think I would do that. 4 or 5 or 6, okay? Is that really clear? It's a 100-point assignment. It's 50 points for the SWOT. It's 20 points for the summary. And within the summary, at the very beginning, start with your thesis, which is Serge placed properly? Has he been labeled properly? Is everything okay here? And then 50 points for the SWOT, and then 30 points for the case recommendations. Enjoy it. Make it a bit of an adventure. You're the new principal coming on, or you're somebody that they've called in to take a look at what's going on, and you're getting paid big bucks to come up with a great answer. You know what? And if you can do this with a SWOT, if you can use SWOT to describe those complex scenarios and complex situations that you run into, you're going to be the expert in the room. Alrighty? Any questions? Give me shoot me an email. And once again, that's 3 pages only, max 4 pages. Okay, it can be less than 3 if you can fit it on there. But have fun with it. It's an adventure, and it's a puzzle that needs solving, and that's the way each and every day is when you're in this business. Especially with children, it's not the case, and you don't want to let a single one of them slide through. And the idea about it in this case is that this is a diverse student. This is a student that no one really knows how to deal with. And then in week 7, you're going to choose from 3 scenarios. You're going to do one of them, and each one of them, what do we do with this child? They're so far off the scale of normal in terms of their background or what they need, their needs. And you have to deal with them. You have to. All right? Enjoy it. Have fun. And we'll see you next time. And be in touch by email if you have a question. If it's time sensitive, give me a call on the cell phone. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.